Welcome, all you fine folks. Thanks for tuning in today. This week, we have a Thanksgiving Day matchup between the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. Happy Thanksgiving to all you out there. If you like what you see here today, please subscribe, hit that like button, and let me know what your thoughts are on this game upcoming on Thursday. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So this week on Thanksgiving Day, you've got the Washington Commanders coming to town. They are an 11-point underdog, and given that this is a divisional game, given the difference in point differential here between the two teams, one is really good, one is really bad, I think that the 11 points is warranted. In fact, the stats indicate maybe it should be a little bit more, given the way the Cowboys have been beating teams recently, but I'm going to give you my predictions here in a minute. The over-under is 48.5. Again, I will give you my prediction on that. We're going to review some key stats, give you my thoughts, and then I will give you final predictions at the end. So we're going to take a look at some key stats here. Dak Prescott is killing it as of late. Since that 49ers beatdown, Dak has been phenomenal. This team on offense and defense have been phenomenal. And specifically, when you look at Dak in the passing game, this season, Dak is top 5 in almost every meaningful passing statistic. He's, I believe it was 5th on the MVP list as far as the Vegas odds go. So he's working his way up this list as the season goes on. And he's been absolutely fantastic, and you can see it here represented in the score. Now, this is a little bit slanted because the defense does score a bunch of touchdowns too. Deron Bland is a one-man wrecking machine apparently. But the Cowboys are averaging 30.2 points per game. That ranks second in the NFL. Defense is allowing 17.5 points per game. That's 5th in the NFL. Now, you can talk about they beat down the bad teams, lose to the good teams, whatever you want to say. Dak doesn't even play in the fourth quarter in a lot of these games. So when you look at these numbers, there is a little bit of an inflation going on there when you are beating these bad teams. But like I said, Dak's out most of the time, early fourth quarter, if not the third quarter. So it's not like they're out here padding stats left and right. And all that nonsense you hear from the national media is just that it's nonsense. Cowboys are +6 in the turnover differential. That is good for 5th in the league. When you look at the Commanders, they have a good running game, and that's a little bit concerning. Dallas is ranked 11th overall in total yards rushing this season, given up as a defense. They're 17th in yards per carry, so the stats can be a little misleading. Dallas oftentimes gets ahead in the game and forces the other team to throw, which is going to be important to try and get to here against the Commanders because the Commanders can run the ball. They have Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, both really good players, especially Robinson. He's explosive. And the problem with the Commanders is they get behind so quickly in some of these games, and they revert to Sam Howell throwing the ball 35, 40 plus times in a game. And he's fun to watch, but he's not the guy that's going to do that without throwing some picks. So it'll be important for the Commanders to get off and run the ball well, keep churning out these yards, and keep drives alive without having to revert to a pass-heavy style offense, because that's going to spell certain death against this Cowboys pass rush. The other part we want to look at is the Commanders defense. They are 4th in the league with 35 sacks, but obviously they got rid of 2 key pieces of that pass rush via trades, and I think that stat can be a little misleading as far as where they're at today. Not too worried about protecting against this pass rush, and I expect Dak to keep on cooking. So these are the prize picks predictions. They've got Dak Prescott at 278.5 pass yards over-under. I'm going to go with the over on that one. I think the Commanders are going to have a hard time stopping this offense. Tony Pollard, 63.5 rushing yards. I'm going to go under on that. I think that if Dowdle is healthy, I think we'll see more of a split there. We might see some more explosive runs if that's the case from Pollard, but he's also going to have runs subtracted from his workload if that's the case as well. So I'm going to go with the under on Tony Pollard. CeeDee Lamb, if Dak's going to be cooking, I think Lamb's going to be part of that recipe. We're going to have some lamb chops for Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm going to go plus 91.5 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb. I think he ends up somewhere north of 125. And then you have DeMarcus Lawrence. Basically, is he going to get a sack or is he not going to get a sack? 0.25 sacks, so a quarter sack. Yes, plus side of that. And then the last one is Micah Parsons. I can't stand when there's not a half or a point something in there. So basically, in order to beat this bet, you have to have 2 or 1.5 sacks for Micah Parsons. And you know what? I think the Cowboys are going to come out, jump to an early lead. The Commanders are going to have to revert to that passing game that I mentioned earlier that they don't want to do. But they're going to have to keep up. And I think that Micah Parsons does get plus side of 1. So 1.5, 2 sacks plus. Final predictions. I wrestled with this one a little bit. I thought it might be a little bit closer because it's the divisional game, but the more I dug into this, the more I'm pretty confident that the Cowboys are going to jump out to an early lead. They're going to hold on to that lead. I think the Commanders score maybe late. Maybe there's something in garbage time, make it look closer than it actually was, but we're going to go with 31-17 Cowboys. And in the end, that puts us at 48 points. So we're under the 48.5. It looks like Vegas knows what they're doing as far as these bets go. So 31-17, you heard it here. That is my final prediction. And if you guys liked what you saw here today, I appreciate you subscribing, hitting the like button, and let me know. Take a look at these predictions here. Let me know what your predictions are. See if they match or if they're a little different than what I think. So as always, appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you later.